Well, good morning, guys.
Good morning. How you going?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Yeah,
Rob,
doing
Mon?
good. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
good.
it's overcast this morning, but it is Happy Tuesday. How you guys?
Happy Tuesday. I like that, Mon. I like that. Happy Tuesday.
It's a Happy Tuesday. It's always a good morning when we get to do this.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
right on. I
like
look
that.
forward to it. So it's so cool.
It is always a good morning when we get to do this. Good morning to everyone who is watching today, who is watching later on in the day as well. I got a message from Rochelle DeMoulen, who's listening to the podcast because she doesn't have time to watch it live in the morning. So hello to Rochelle if you're listening to this later on in the day.
I know, so good, eh? Yeah.
But a warm welcome to everyone if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook or on the church website as well. It's great to have you with us today. Let's see who's in the comments already. Michaela Gary in there, out.
So good. And
right away.
Pauline,
Good morning,
man,
team.
it warms my heart to see these regulars, man. Yeah,
I
so
know.
good.
I feel like you're in the virtual studio with us too. It's like if we had a live virtual audience, you're like there with us right now. We're just all spread out. Yeah. So welcome to Mornings Together with Rob, Mon, and Bernie. So the whole point of this is how do we do being together in isolation? How do we have some good fun, good banter? How do we start the day well? And we bring on guests and we have chats with them as well. And haven't we had some sensational guests over the last little bit? It's been a good time.
Amazing. Incredible.
Yeah.
We've just been so blessed to have that. Yeah. And even what's coming up is like exciting. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hold on to your britches, everyone. We've got some guests for you.
Hold on.
Hold on to your britches.
That's a word from the past.
That's like a real Southern word.
I like it.
Hold on to your britches.
Maybe that should be a new hashtag bring back, but no, didn't want to say that wrong.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Almost got
went there.
Almost went there. Let's say hi to more people. Let's forget that ever happened. Tony Weagles. Yeah. Hey, guys. Thanks for you so much each morning from the Weagles.
So good.
Dory Jones and, of course, Philip Jones saying good morning, team.
Yeah, to Jones.
Happy Tuesday, people.
Happy Tuesday,
Kay Hearn is watching as well.
Yay, Kay. Love her. Yeah.
Yeah, so lovely to have you all with us this morning as we continue to go. Graham asks a very important question. Who wears breeches?
Who wears breeches?
Send us a picture in stories.
That's right.
Please do not
like some genuine breeches.
Nobody needs seen that. Marion Kirby is saying that she's having a week off and is loving being able to listen to us, which is cool. Hi, Marion.
Oh, so good, Marion.
Nice to have you with us, Marion.
Lovely. All right, so we want to get straight into things today. So we had a big announcement yesterday from Auntie Jacinda letting us know the plan for the next few weeks, which is nice. It's nice to know where we're going. So, of course, for those who may have missed it, we are on level 4 until next Tuesday at midnight. So Tuesday we're at level 3 for at least 2 weeks, and then they're going to let us know what's going on. I heard a great quote yesterday. So level 3 is just like level 4, but with KFC.
That's right.
Yep. That's right.
So Rob and Mon, how are you feeling after the announcement from Auntie Jacinda yesterday?
Go, Rob.
How is that? That was a hospital pass.
So I'm feeling. That was hospital pass. Woo. I'm feeling much the same. The thing that's good about it is it's given you an endpoint. It's that moment where you go, okay, well, actually, level 4 is changing at this point, and then level 3, well, all things going right, we're going to be at level 2 soon. We'll be able to get back together. That sense of excitement, anticipation about what's to come. That's what I loved about yesterday's announcement, and it's keeping people indoors until after Anzac Day because we were saying before the show, you could just imagine Kiwis that we all be out at the beach. There'd be just huge parties going on, and so it's a good idea to keep it till then. Still makes it pretty tough on business, and I don't want to deny that, but it gives you something exciting to look forward to. That's
exactly.
It felt like a real strategic, thought-out move, like to have it after Anzac, which I thought was really smart. But I don't know, the phrase that kept coming to my mind was like proceeding with caution. Do you know what I mean? Like crossing the crosswalk. You're still having a look, but we're getting there. At least the light has changed colors. It's not just red. We're at the yellow. We can kind of, but hopefully we can just ease our way into this. So it's good, and I think it's great for businesses to be able to open. So it'll be good. My heart goes out to schools and daycares as they're trying to scramble to do this, but and what that will look like, I don't know. But it's good. It's a good move forward. Yeah.
Now, for those who are just joining us, no, we have not just recently been purchased by Radio New Zealand, and this is the new political.
Exactly. No.
I think it's just important to gauge how people are feeling after things like this. So I agree with both of you. I'm kind of excited that the timeline is kind of set in a way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a huge responsibility on the team of 5 million to continue to work well together. I was amazed to hear the whole random testing statistic from yesterday. The fact that 1,000 people have been tested on the weekend and every single one of the results came back negative.
I know, that's so amazing.
That's huge. So if we can keep this going, keep it. We want to keep the show going, but that doesn't mean we want to keep lockdown going. So let's pull it together, regardless of what your political thinkings or feelings are about this kind of thing. We have a way to move forward together as a team. Let's pull it off. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Let's get this thing done so that we can get back to, like Rob was saying, meeting together and being with family together and, all that kind of stuff. Return to some sense of normality and kick everybody else's butt around the world. Be like, hey,
I know. I love that. I love that we can be leading in this area, it's just so cool. Yeah. Because all eyes are on us at the moment, it feels like. And on Jacinda, I'm hearing that from people from family overseas. Like, man, Jacinda Ardern, and I'm like, wow, so it's amazing. Yeah.
So let's just keep it going. I'm keen to hear what some of you guys think in the comments. We just had a message through from Adrian Lucas saying that I'll be back to work next week as an ECE teacher. I will miss this chat every day. But Adrian, don't worry, this is available on podcast and on Facebook later on in the day, so you can come back and watch it again.
That's right.
But of course, we will be thinking through how the future looks for this little thing as well, and adapting as well as we change out of different things. Everything will stay the same for level 3, but of course, when we hit level 2, things might change. So
again,
we have to be ready for that as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's good.
But interesting time. But let's throw things over to Flavor Rob.
Yeah, Flavor Rob. Hanging out all morning. Come on, buddy.
You see this thing here, okay? That's a solid piece of granite right there. It's called a pestle and mortar. I'm pretty sure that thing there, that could injure you. The reason why
that could hurt somebody.
The reason why I bring that out today is because it's actually very satisfying creating anything in a pestle and mortar because you're just smashing it to bits. The other thing is it's actually a method that creates more flavor. I don't think people know that, but today I want you to try a basic pesto. All right. So pesto, for those who don't know, is a great sauce that can go on things like crackers, sandwiches. You put it in your pasta. You can have it with cheese. It's marvelous. Some of you probably have one of these sitting on your shelf that you got for your wedding present. You're still wondering what it is. So you can bring that out. So a really good basic pesto has, get this, another trinity of ingredients.
Love it, dude.
Come on, Rob.
So three key ingredients is toasted pine nuts, okay? Toasted pine nuts, Parmesan cheese, and basil and parsley. It depends on how much you like basil or parsley, all right?
Yeah.
And so you don't have to use a pestle and mortar. You can use your food processor at home. I just think you get a better result from one of these. So those 3 ingredients, 100 grams of pine nuts, you just toast them in a dry pan so they just change color, don't burn them.
Yeah.
Parmesan cheese, a good handful, 2 good handfuls of fresh basil, and then you can add, some people like to add a clove of garlic in there. That's quite nice. Smash that in there. Salt and pepper always, like I've said, and squeeze a lemon, okay? And once you get that together, it looks like a paste. So and then you just put a little bit of olive oil just to bring it together, and that's it. That's it. Really simple, okay?
Nice.
Smash that together. Stays in the fridge for a couple of weeks. It's really good. Roll it through your pasta. Put it on your sandwiches. You'll be happy days. So,
man, so good.
Basic pesto.
Do you know what I'm really excited about, Rob? About once we get back to like level 2, level 1 kind of thing, is going to some of our listeners' houses for like afternoon tea and experiencing all these tips you've given them, in real life. It's gonna be great.
I know, so good.
Hannah was saying that she has a Jamie Oliver brand one. It's so much fun. And Tina Porter said you can get a pestle and mortar from Kmart.
Nice. There you go.
I have to say, just seeing your one, Rob, remind me of my childhood. Like every good Latin family has one of those on their bench for making salsa. So that's very cool.
Right. Yeah, and if every kid has grabbed one of those at some point and smashed something to pieces with the every kid has.
Yeah, that's right. So good.
Well, thank you, Flavor Rob, for that.
Right on, Flavor Rob. Love it.
What we love doing on the show is sharing some stories from the community, things you guys are doing during lockdown. Now, we have some stories today that actually come to us from afar, and I say afar because it comes to us from Philippines. Now, BBC has a few missionaries in the Philippines right now who are working with the Ruel Foundation. Now, the Philippines, they're in lockdown as well. They've just hit week 4, and it's been extended another week at least. And so it's Angela, whose last name eludes me, but then also John and Jill Skelton. Now they're working at Ruel together. Since lockdown has hit, they are being identified as kind of key caregivers so that they can stay at Ruel looking after the kids and stuff like that to reduce people coming from the community and helping, which has meant massive days for them. Like they were saying that the other day they had to work from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. with the 0 to 6-year-olds, I think it was. So big days. And of course, the kids can't go anywhere and stuff like that. So today, as you're thinking, as you go through your day, as you go through lockdown, please be praying for Angela, Jill, and John as they continue their time in the Philippines at Ruel. They seem to be positive. They seem to be well resourced and things going like that. But if you can pray just for their energy and just that they continue to stay safe and can minister to these kids as they continue to spend their time there. It's very cool to hear stuff like this from them.
Oh, wonderful! What a wonderful team. Those three. What a dynamic team. That they will be helping out there. That's fantastic.
Exactly. So their spirits are high, but if you can keep them in your thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely. That's good.
Right. Well, let's check back to the comments. Let's see. Is anything? What else has come through? We've had. Terrence Coburn is saying that, hey, everybody, may God organize your day and have an awesome one. Thank you, Terrence.
Oh, so sweet. Yeah.
And Georgia Ellison is saying that surely all the regular watchers should come for a feast.
At Rob's house.
At Rob's house.
I would expect them to bring something that I've taught them along with them. All right.
So one of the Trinities. We've used. One of the Trinities. Dude, I still think that's a cookbook in the happening.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's up to Pedro. Pedro, the manager's got to let us know about that book deal.
I reckon. Oh, it'd be so good.
I like Graham and Carol's little thing there about toasted walnuts. You can also have toasted pistachio nuts. I've had that in a pesto as well.
Yeah.
All right.
So good.
Salivating in my big old fancy microphone over here. All right, let's carry on. So if you do have stories that come in during this time, like we've been sharing across the show regularly about how things are going with you and your family or in your community, thank you to all those who have sent them in so far, especially the ones with pictures. Love showing the pictures on.
Oh, love it.
On the show and stuff like that. But you can fire through your stories to stories@bethlehem.org.nz. Likewise, on social media, if you tag the church, you can use @BethBapChurch on all the different social media platforms.
Yeah.
We want to see more TikToks. We've had a bit of a TikTok drought.
I know. We've got Skippy. We have to show Skippy's one. Steve Phelps.
We need a few more from there. If any point during this season you need help, not just TikTok help, because for me, I'm confused by it, but if you need help for anything, Care at Bethlehem is set up to help take care of you guys during the season. You can give the church a call on that phone number as well. But the Skippy and the Care team are here and ready to help you out.
Completely. Great team, too. They're doing a great job.
They're doing an amazing job. And at any point, if you want to send through your prayer request, just use the keyword BBC Prayer and send it through to 4040. Also, you can access putting your prayer request through online on the church website as well. Well, I'm very excited about our guest today.
I know, so exciting. Yeah.
He's a good buddy of mine. And so his name is James Hannis. Many of you would have seen this guy shredding the guitar on top of speaker stacks at night before Christmas on the Bethlehem College school grounds. He is the guitarist from late 80s Mercedes, but I like to think of him a bit like Batman. By day, he is the humble Christian education teacher at Dilworth School in Auckland, and then by night he is a music vigilante is what I always say. And what I mean by this is at the moment during this season, he is churning out the tunes. And I think as a way of introducing him, I should show you his latest hit that he's written for McDonald's.
There's an old George Benson technique, which is kind of like singing along.
What I'll do is I'll skip ahead a little bit just so we can get to the goods.
Love it.
Love it. That is so awesome, Bernie. He's got to write our new jingle for the morning show.
So James had a good morning. Great to have you with us.
Hey, James, welcome.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
Who did that?
Who did that?
Clever man. So, apart from working on McDonald's new relaunch campaign, I think we will need to contract you to rewrite our jingle for the start of our show.
Oh, 100%.
I'll get Pedro, the manager, to contact you to talk to you about that.
So good.
But James, thank you so much for coming and being on the show with us this morning. You're a very, very busy man, so I'm appreciative that you're here with us today. I was just thinking this morning, actually, when did I first meet you? And I can't recall. So it must have been through Dad at some point, way back when I was probably like a kid. So, but I've known about Late 80s Mercedes since I was about 13. Yeah. You guys have been cranking the tunes ever since. I think I know when I first met you. Sorry, I didn't put this in the questions, but I first met you at Easter camp back in 2001 at Finlay Park. Wow. And you were doing whatever it was, the daily challenges, running around camp doing crazy things. That's when I think I first met you. Wow. So that's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago. But James, why don't you let us know a little bit more about yourself and how things have been going for you and your family in the bubble?
Hey, just first of all, it's a pleasure to be here with you guys today, and all the way from my little guitar room. I am, so my name's James. My name's James Hanna, and I've been a part of a crazy band called Late 80s Mercedes for about almost 20 years. I think this year is 20 years.
Wow. Yep. Yeah.
And just been around that kind of Christian music scene for a long time. And I live in Auckland, but I'm originally from Hamilton, so don't hold that against me. Either place is kind of bad, really. Auckland, people are going to mock you. Hamilton, you just get even more mocked. So, just pick one. Pick one.
Yeah, just pick one.
With it.
What do you go for in between and go Huntley? Just say you're from Huntley. It's kind of in between both.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. You could say kind of from Huntley, and then people would be like, kind of what? You're like, well, I'm sort of from Huntley.
So kind of from Huntley, people go, well, wow, you're doing really well. You're doing really.
That's right.
I think as a teacher, I've kind of gotten through the bubble thing, the lockdown thing pretty well. It's been really busy, and having two kids, I've got two kids, Ruby, who's 9, and Zach, who's 6. Having two kids thrown in that mix as well, who are also online learning, is pretty crazy. So I've really enjoyed the time. I felt like it's gone really fast. And to think about the announcement yesterday afternoon and to go, it's almost been 4 weeks is pretty intense.
It's pretty intense. Yeah. It is crazy. The time has flown by.
I agree.
Part of something you've done each day for the duration of the lockdown are these little daily videos. And I just showed the McDonald's one from last night just before, but you've been doing these every single day. What was the inspiration behind that? And what is the kind of response you've gotten from doing them?
I just did it as a joke. On the first day, I learnt this jazz guitar version of Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror. And I was trying to remember it, and I was sitting and playing it on the guitar, and I was like, I'll just chuck this up on Instagram if I can get it. And so I gave myself half an hour or something and did this little ditty, and then someone basically challenged me in the comments and said, want to see one of these every day. Like, cool.
Cool.
That's so cool.
So I thought, what a great idea. So every day I've tried to put something together. Some have been a bit throwaway, like the McDonald's song.
So good.
And off to be honest, the further I've gotten through, the harder it is to kind of come up with something new. Some of them have been really funny. Like we did a little Spanish guitar lesson with my daughter Ruby the other day. But some of them have been a bit more serious. So, for example, my auntie in Australia, she passed away on the Tuesday of the first week of lockdown.
Wow.
And that was really hard because my family couldn't travel over there, obviously, to go to any kind of funeral, and they're not allowed to have a funeral yet. And they couldn't even meet together. So my uncles and aunties and my mum and dad and the kids couldn't even kind of meet together to kind of to grieve, you know. So I thought I'd put together a hymn on the guitar, just an arrangement on the guitar, no singing.
Yeah.
Just that. Because I quite like fingerstyle acoustic guitar, as well as being an idiot rock star with an electric guitar. I quite like doing acoustic stuff too. So basically I did that, and it was really popular. It's had I think really popular. It's had about 1,700 people view it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
To share it and just share in that grief. And the day I put it up was very emotional for me. So I did it, and it gave me a chance to kind of process that loss a little bit.
Yeah.
In a big way.
Yeah. And obviously resonated with people. Yeah. To have so many views that struck a chord.
Lockdown's had its ups and downs, I guess, and part of that guitar thing every day has been just a kind of a little task, a little challenge to do each day, and I think that's probably what I've really learnt about it.
Which is awesome. And like we've heard from a few people over the show that, you know, and during this lockdown, there's been parts of this we've had to grieve. We've had to grieve overseas travel that we can't go to. Your situation that you've mentioned as well, like not being able to be with family in hard times as well. You know, and so I know for me, I'm a musician as well. So music's one of these things where it can bridge a lot of emotion for people.
Yeah.
And something as simple as doing your hymn, like you said, which was an emotional offering from yourself, is actually helping a lot of other people around the country as well. It's one of these weird things. You never know the full impact of some of the stuff we put out there, and I think there'll be stories being told about that little hymn and how it's affecting other people. So, I think it's
absolutely.
Very,
it'd be great to get your Instagram handle there. James, to be able to follow you and have a look.
They're all on Facebook, aren't they? The
Facebook,
Anywho,
very cool.
We'll pivot the conversation slightly to more serious. Oh, James, you want to say something? Your mouth was opening up, ready to go.
I can't hear Monica.
You can't hear Monica. We've had this before, and I don't know how to fix it. But we'll carry on. I'll just re-say anything that Monica says so that you can hear it. Laugh. That should be self-explanatory. But let's pivot the conversation a little bit here and saying that, so you're experiencing the whole COVID-19 thing from two different perspectives. Of course, you're an educator, so you're a Christian education teacher at Dilworth School. So you're saying you do like 23 classes a week, talking about faith and life and all that. But you're also a professional musician with Late 80s Mercedes. So two very different perspectives, but two perspectives that are heavily affected by lockdown. Why don't you paint us a picture about how it's been, like what it's been like?
Yeah.
As far as the teaching thing goes, it's been really interesting because I'm a parent and my kids are online, trying to learn online as well. And I'm actually trying to teach. And so on my Google Classroom layout as a teacher, I have like over 400 students in different classes. So that's just managing that is amazing. Just so much work. Wow. But having fun through that, but also giving my students something to think about within the context of this whole situation globally. You know, how do you get through? What are some things that you can focus on that are like might change your mindset. Like we did a little mini assignment on thankfulness. So they completed that at home, finished the assignment, and then handed it in. And so to hear back from them that was a really great exercise to do, and all of that kind of stuff was really cool. So being a part of something more positive within that, rather than just do these exercises, do this writing and hand it in, is really cool. I teach every boy in our school once a week.
Yeah, that's huge.
And we learn about the Bible right through from year 5, 6, 7, 8, right through to philosophy and kind of the big issues, I guess, and later on. So to cut a long story short, that teaching and being a teacher for my kids at home has been a lot to juggle.
Yeah.
And I feel like just keep going. Don't feel like you're being the world's worst teacher if you're a parent at home. Trying to do this, do your best. And actually, it's probably a great opportunity for you to teach kids your kids some better life skills and stuff, rather than just getting through the schoolwork. Our kids have learned how to make their beds and how to get the toast and how to make their own
love it
and stuff. So we've been pushing them to do that in this time, and it's worked really, really well. So I would say don't stress so much about the schoolwork. Don't quote me on that.
And this is coming from a teacher,
don't stress
folks.
so much about the schoolwork. Do your best on that, but actually, man, hang out with your kids. Teach them some skills that they don't know.
Some life
skills that they're going to take into life with them. What a great opportunity.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, so good.
So that's the education side of things. I think a lot of teachers are really getting into the Google Classroom online learning kind of side of things. There's lots of stuff going on there. And for me, I've done Google Classroom for about the last 4 years. So it was pretty easy, really, to just step into that.
Nice.
And I think a lot of schools are in the same boat.
That's awesome, James. And from the music perspective, like in terms of, because the musical world has been rocked with this whole thing. In a big way. So if you want to share a little bit from that perspective as well, I think that'd be great.
So when you call me a professional musician,
I did.
not really. We get paid a little bit. To do what we do. We get paid quite well. We don't play lots. But we had a gig coming up a couple of weeks ago, and even before lockdown, there was gatherings of 100 or more were cancelled. So we already knew at that point that had been cancelled. But it's not just the musicians or things like that. It's hitting that industry, like anyone involved in that industry. So it's your sound and lights production companies, it's your event management companies, it's your band management companies, it's your bands, it's all of that kind of stuff that is suffering. And it was just like an overnight nothing. And where's the end for that? We have no idea. So there's a lot of people that we know through our contacts within the event industry, and who are really they don't know the next move. They don't know when they're going to be back up and running, if at all. So it's heavy.
James and I have
really
a
heavy.
friend called Goff who runs the production company up in Auckland, and the things have been really rough, and I'd love to get him on at some point where you have a chat with him. But at the same time, even in the midst of the roughness, they've done some interesting innovation stuff in terms of pivoting to meet the needs of lockdown, in terms of providing like screens for supermarkets and stuff like that, and all that kind of jazz. So I'd love to chat with him at some point. But it is an industry that's been absolutely rocked by this whole thing. James, we're coming to the end of our time together today, and what I want to do to close out our time together is, first I want to hear a couple of tips as to how we can support our educators and our musicians in this time. And can you play us a song to close out our time together as well? So and maybe it could be your tips too song, who knows. So
My what?
I'm joking. Your
I'll make a song about tips.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like straight away.
On the fly?
If your kids are driving you crazy, just get out of bed and stop being lazy. That's all I've got.
Nice. I like
That's awesome.
It's good. No, so seriously, how can we support our educators and musicians during this time? And then
that's right. Yeah. A real question. I think the educators is a pretty easy one. Be an encouragement over email. If you're finding something frustrating within a lesson or you don't understand, I mean, I've been there a couple of times already this week. But you instead of thinking, all right, I'll email the teacher and
tell them a piece of my mind.
Sort it out.
Yeah.
Maybe stop, take a breath, and think. Is this necessary? Could I do this a different way? And could I actually be encouraging rather than just wanting an answer? So
right on.
I would say look for ways to encourage. Get your kid to draw a little picture and write a little thank you note, and just take a photo of it on your phone and seesaw it through to your teacher or email or whatever. I think that would be really a great move. Is to if we instead of looked at how we're going to solve this problem my kid's having with their lesson, to actually going, you know what, this teacher's probably under a heck of pressure to get this working, and we'll be in the next couple of weeks possibly doing both at school and online stuff, and trying to plan for that. I'd hit them up and say, look, doing a fantastic job. Thanks for setting work for my kids. I really appreciate everything you're doing in this time. Is there any way I can support you? Love what you're doing. Thank you. And that's it. Don't ask for anything afterwards. Just do it. Just do something encouraging. And I think that would be a great way to support teachers during this time, as well as schools and principals. They've got a huge
massive
stress load on them at the moment. How are they going to make this work? How are they going to, especially with the older senior students that we have at high school, how's this going to impact their qualifications and results through to the end of the year? It's a big deal. So that's what I do. Musicians, there's a couple of ways you could do it, actually. If you really like following some of your favorite musos or things like that, some of them have gotten on doing things like what I'm doing on Facebook, but they're actually kind of doing something called online busking. And I don't know if you've heard of it or not.
No,
they get online and there's a little link down the bottom to like a PayPal thing or something like that, and you can kind of support them. I've got a friend who's in Australia, and he does covers gigs and things. Great muso, but just again, everything's dried up for him. So he's doing these online busking gigs from his lounge and stuff.
That's so amazing. Cool. I love the innovation.
He's brilliant, and it's just wonderful to click into that and to watch him for half an hour or so, and then to flick him some money.
Yeah.
If lots of people did it.
Oh yeah,
he's got a way to get some food and feed his family, So it's that kind of basic stuff, I guess.
Yeah. The virtual money in the hat.
I've just got a notification on my phone. I'm going to flick it up from a student. Google Classroom notification. Get lost.
Yeah. Nice.
Can't you see I'm on a talk show?
Hey, can't you see?
Famous.
Learning can wait.
He's not logged into this. So.
James, I just want to let you know that as you've been sharing, we've had a huge number of comments coming in. So I'm just going to share them so you can see them on the screen as well. So Sarah Perry saying that was great, James. Old mate Clint Harris is top advice, James.
Clint Harris.
Ray Willis saying good tip, note to teacher. Terry Firmage, who is a teacher, says thanks, James. And then Hannah is actually saying that this is great advice to remember in a lot of situations. And I think what you shared,
for sure,
for a lot of our essential services and for people who are going back to work in level 3, a lot of what you're saying, I think, applies in terms of how we can, look after them and encourage them during this time. But to close out the show today, two things are going to happen. One, you're going to give us hopefully give us a quick little song, and then you're going to pray for us as we close out our time together. And then we're all going to be back again tomorrow morning at 9:00. We have Charles Hewlett on the show tomorrow. He is the leader of the Baptist Union. And so very excited about that, to have him on with us tomorrow. But James, why don't you take it away? Why don't you play us a song and then pray us out for today?
Okay, you can sing along, but you don't have to because I won't be able to hear you.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite bands of all time, called One Direction.
Yay.
Am I knocking my microphone?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. You're insecure, don't know what for. You're turning heads as you walk through the door. Don't need makeup to cover up. Be in the way that you are is enough. Everyone else in the room can see it. Everyone else but you. Baby, you light up my world like nobody else. The way that you flip your head gets me overwhelmed. And when you smile at the ground, it ain't hard to tell. You don't know, you don't know you're beautiful. If only you saw what I could see, you'd understand why I want you so desperately. Right now I'm looking at you and I can't believe you don't know. You don't know you're beautiful.
Wow.
Oh, brilliant.
That's good.
So good.
Let's
Harris
pray.
Jesus commented saying first, where do I pay the money, James? So there you go.
Yeah, where do I pay the money, James? Yeah. That's so cool.
That
Love
one's
it.
free. That one was free.
Nice.
So good.
All right, James, why don't you pray us out today?
All right, my pleasure. Let's pray. Father God, we thank you for your reign over us. We thank you that through this time you are our God. You are unchanging. That you know where this is going, and God, that help us to rely on your guidance. Help us to dig into your Holy Spirit this week, and to be guided by you, to be your light in the world. Father, we just thank you for all the Bethlehem Baptist Church crew. Lord, you would bless them and keep them. God, that you would help them to continue to be amazing, creative people, and to have your will at the forefront. God, we just pray for the people that are part of the church, Lord, in Bethlehem, Lord, that you would keep them, you would provide for them. Father, no matter what situation they're in, that they would know your peace. God, we just thank you so much for the joy and all of the great guests and people through this show, Lord, that we just pray that you would keep it coming and keep encouraging people along the way. God, we thank you for all of these good things, and we pray for more McDonald's and more KFC next week. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Awesome.
Thank you, James. And on that note, James...
No, go.
No, I was going to say thank you again for being with us today. Thank you for all your words of wisdom and your advice, and for your musical lightness that you brought to the show as well today. Love you, love your work. But everybody, we'll say goodbye. We'll say goodbye for now. We'll see you tomorrow morning back at 9:00. Have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Yeah, see you.